Well, good morning. It's a Friday morning, pretty early, a little past 7, I think. So it's kind of early for me anymore. I used to always get up at 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning when I work. So since I'm retired, 7 o'clock, being out especially, is kind of early. Anymore, heck, I sleep till 7, 8 o'clock, but I don't go to bed till midnight a lot of times. I have a pretty full day, and the wife's around talking, and I watch some TV too, probably more than I should. But anyway, I'm out on my 2025 Lifan KPM RS200. I tell you what, the more I ride this bike, the more I like it. It's an amazing motorcycle. You would think a 200cc that you'd get tired of it because it'd be not having enough power, but I'm really surprised by all of these 200cc's engine. It's crazy good for what it is. On the way up here, I was cruising 65 for quite a ways, 65 miles per hour. It does that with no problem. There's a statue of Honest Abe, Abraham Lincoln, 1809 to 1865. Wow, what is that, 56 years old? No. Man, I'm tired this morning, I can't think. Yeah, 56 years old. I know he was assassinated, but I thought he was a little older than that. I passed by that statue 100 times. Never really paid that much attention, I guess. Chilly morning this morning. I think it's like 67 or so. I stopped and filled up. Getting pretty close to 750 miles right now. By the time I get done today, it'll be over 800 for sure. I'm just taking kind of a short ride this morning, so it'll probably be 50, 60 miles. Probably be another couple weeks before I hit my 1,000-mile. I'm anxious to get to doing the valve clearance check and adjustment. I want to see, you know, if the valves are set properly. I never did check them, because normally what I do when I get a new bike, one of the first things that I do is, after, you know, I change the oil for the first time, is I'll check the valve clearance in it, just to make sure it's good. I thought this time I'm just going to let it go, but the bike's been running great, so I'm sure that it's pretty close, if not spot on. But I want to check it. I can't wait to see what it is. Been really busy lately again, and my daughter's dryer went out. Well, it didn't go out, it's just making noise, so taking it apart and rebuilding it. I did a little bit of a video on that, but a lot of it I didn't show. The drum has a seal on the inside closest to the back wall, and that's glued on, and that seal was bad, so I had to take the drum home, peel the old seal off, get the old glue off, and put a new seal on and re-glue it. And then the rest of the components, changing them this morning. After my ride, I'm going to go back and finish it all up. And later in the week, my son-in-law's car, the front wheel bearings is bad in it. It's a Honda Civic, so I'm going to be replacing the wheel bearings in that. Next week, we're going on vacation again. We're going camping again. So I'm looking forward to that. I got a couple little projects, been sitting out there waiting for 3 or 4 weeks, and I still haven't gotten to them. A couple parts bikes that I've been wanting to take apart. I need to get that done because I got to get my trailer emptied off. You know, on top of everything else, I had my Goldwing, 1200 Goldwing. I had my fuel pump go out on it. And what I had done, I knew that the fuel pump was old, and I knew that they are a failure item, and a lot of people have had to replace them. Well, I don't like the $20, $30 aftermarket fuel pump. So I went to eBay and I bought me, well, it was supposed to be an OEM pump. And when I got it in, I didn't think anything about it. I just put it in a bag, a Ziploc bag, put it in my trunk, and I thought, okay, if my pump ever goes out, I'll have one. It's a good OEM pump. Well, my pump went out. I started to go for a ride, and I had to turn around and come right back because I could tell I was losing fuel pressure because I put the choke on and the engine was warmed up and it picked back up again, so I knew my pressure was low. So I got back home, took my old pump off, put my new pump on that I bought. It wasn't new, but I put it on, and I find out that the hose barb fittings that the hoses sit on was smaller. I thought that was kind of strange, and I peeled back the rubber and I looked at it. Yep, it was an aftermarket $20 or $30 pump that I paid $50 for, and I had it sitting in my bike for 2-3 months, so it was past the return stage. So yeah, that was $50 down the drain. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and buy me a brand new pump for it if it's available. And I'm looking around, ooh man, them things are pricey. I think the cheapest one I found was $220, $250, something like that. You can still get them straight from Japan for over $300. I don't want to do that. I only paid $400 for the motorcycle. Of course, I did put money in it. So I started looking at different options, you know, and come to find out that the Shadow Sabre uses pretty much the same pump. It just has a different electrical connection. So I looked at a brand new pump of that, and it was $140. And I thought, you know, I think I'm going to do that. But I thought, well, you know, the cheapskate that I am, it's probably going to be a mistake. But I went on eBay and I was looking at Honda Shadow Sabre fuel pump. They're 1100cc Honda Shadow Sabre 1100. You know, it's close to my 1200cc, so the pump's going to be probably basically the same. And I looked at used ones, and this guy had one, only had, I don't know, 13,000 miles, something like that, on the bike. I guess it got wrecked. So I thought, you know, that's pretty close to new. Even though it's, you know, an older pump, I could probably be asking for trouble. But it's a 1987 bike, and I don't think I have to worry about it. Pumps last a long time. The Honda OEM ones do. I mean, my goodness, the one that's on there has lasted, what would that be, 13, almost 40 years. Is that right? 26 and 13, yeah, 39 years. I tell you what, my math this morning, I'm tired. Not that good, I guess, but 39 years that pump lasted. It looks like it's probably the original pump, unless somebody did what I was doing, put a easement on it, but I kind of doubt it. So anyway, this pump is a newer, way newer generation. It's 2000, or something, so it's 20 years old itself, and it's always a possibility it could go bad. I probably should have just bought a new pump and gone with it, but I'm not 100% sure that the pressures are the same and everything. I know I'll get the electrical connection right and I'll get it functioning, but I just want to make sure that the pump is going to pump. And if it does good, don't have any issues, then I may go ahead and splurge and buy a brand new one. We'll see how it goes, but you know how that goes. It's only temporary until it works, and then it becomes permanent. So we'll see how all that goes. It's no big deal. At least it's easy to change. I don't even have to take anything off to take the electrical fitting out. All I got to do is open up the fuel door and I can get to it from that. So that worked out good. Cruising 60 miles an hour. This thing does so good cruising down the highway. I think that, you know, I had mentioned in my 500-mile review on this bike that it had a little more vibration than my KPM did, but I honestly feel like the vibrations are getting less, and I think that's possible because the engine was just so tight, you know, when it was new, and I'm getting it broke in now. It's pretty close to fully broke in, and like right now I feel very little vibrations in my hands, a little bit in my feet, but I think it might even get better after I do my valve adjustment. So overall, I'm very pleased with the bike. Transmission's just so smooth too. I have some bikes that the transmission's a little clunky in it. Not anymore. Some bikes I've had in the past, especially I think my Goldwing, one of my old Goldwings, was clunky. My 1200 is a little bit clunky, not bad though. I think that's just because they're heavy duty transmissions. I had to lubricate my chain again recently on this bike. If you have a chain drive, you know, I think you're supposed to lubricate it every 500 miles. If I was to bet, you guys that are listening that have a chain drive bike, I almost bet, if I was a bet man, I would put $100 on it that you don't lubricate your chain every 500 miles. I'm telling you, 500 miles goes by quick. So a lot of people, I'm sure, go a couple thousand miles before they lubricate it, and that's probably not uncommon. I've gone way over 500 myself, but I try to do it at 500 miles. I like my chains to last. You know what? There's really two things that your life depends upon when it comes to a motorcycle, and one is the chain, and the other is your tires. Gotta have good tires, gotta have a good chain, you gotta make sure your pressures are good and the chain's lubricated. So take care of your bike and your bike will take care of you. Well, I love these little towns. Not many people out on this early Friday morning. Not in a little town anyway. There are on the highway. People going to and from work and stuff like that. I tell you, in retirement, when you get on a fixed income, you know, and things pop up, unexpected things, it makes it kind of difficult. My wife recently had her knee go out and she couldn't even, you know, get out of bed. So I had to manage to get her in the car, because she didn't want me to call an ambulance. And I took her to the emergency room. And of course, insurance said they're not going to cover it for whatever reason. So that was $1,800 out of my pocket. Then she had to have, she got it checked out and they couldn't find anything. They did an x-ray and all that. They said they couldn't do MRIs because it was on a Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember which day it was. So we went to the imaging place that does MRIs. That was another almost $600 out of pocket. So kind of stuff you don't count on. So if you're thinking about retiring, you know, you got to think about those things. You know, when I retired, I was in really good health. I still am. So health issues is not really on the forefront of my mind. You know, I work out, exercise, we walk together. I'm always active and busy, so I don't really even think about it too much. My dad lived to be 95, mom lived to be 90, so I got pretty good genetics. And but anyway, I just want to let you know that, you know, if you're thinking about retiring, think about those things too. I don't know if my videos, the last one and this one, has sounded any better, but I did find on my editing program a way to eliminate some of the wind noise. On my last video, I tried to eliminate all of the wind noise, and it was distorting my voice. So it sounded horrible. So I had to go down to like 7% elimination of wind noise, or background noise, I think it was. And it made it, I thought, sound better without distorting my voice. So I got to play with that and find a happy medium, see how far I could go. I know 50% was too much. I tried 100% at first, and that didn't work at all. Then I tried 50%, still didn't sound good. I tried 30, I think, but between 30 and 7, I didn't try anything in between there. So I may have to play around with it just a little bit more. Hopefully try to improve it for you guys so you don't hear all the junk. I have my microphone positioned in an odd place. I have it sitting up on, it's basically resting on the top of my nose. I have it attached to this little nose guard inside my helmet, and it's resting on my nose. Kind of odd because it makes you want to go cross-eyed almost. But I'm trying different positions with that too. Where I'm at, 760 miles. So yeah, I'll be over 800 by the time I get home. I know there's some people wanting me to do some things to this bike, like change the exhaust and put a different instrument cluster on it and stuff. I'm just not real sure about the instrument cluster if I want to move it. You know, I don't look at the instrument cluster enough to, I don't think, make that change. I did it on my KPM and I liked it. But I don't know about the RS if I want to do that. I thought about maybe just getting like one of those, I don't know what they're called, the Apple CarPlay thing. I don't know what they're called. And put one of those on there. That way I could keep track of my mile per hour. But one of the biggest issues for me, and the main reason why I would want something up front, would be the turn signal indicator. You know, I forget my turn signal and I leave it on all the time. I catch myself occasionally pushing the button just in case I forgot it. But I don't look down enough to see if I have my indicator on. But I have done this in the past, and I may do that on this bike. If I leave my instrument cluster, I may put a couple little LEDs up there in the front, very inconspicuous, and whenever my turn signal's on, those will flash, and that'll really help me see it, because I had to do that on another bike. I think it was a Honda or Yamaha I did that on, and I tell you, it made all the difference in the world as far as being able to see my turn signal reminder. I've tried the horn, sirens, and things. This one guy, old guy I read on the forum one time, said that he tried a seat vibrator where whenever it goes off, the turn signal's on, it'll vibrate the seat. I don't know if that'll work for me or not. Heck, I got a phone in my back pocket right now, and if it vibrates, I don't feel it, so I don't think that would work. The siren didn't work either. If you put it inside of your helmet, maybe, but out on the bike, I just barely hear it. A lot of times I wear earplugs anyway, so I have to have something visual. And believe me, that LED flashing up on the dash makes a huge difference. So I'm talking myself into it, I think. I think I might do that. I put those on there, put Apple CarPlay for a mile per hour. That's basically all I need for every day. And then just occasionally look down, make sure that I don't have any check engine light or anything like that, not overheating. I was watching a YouTube video on gasoline the other day, and the question was, should you burn premium gas in your engine? I don't think it said motorcycle, I think it just said engine. And the guy was explaining why you want to run 87 as opposed to a premium 91, 93, 95, whatever you have in your area. And he said that the 93, 91, the premium gas is less volatile. It doesn't ignite as easily as the 87. And there is reasons for using the higher octane as opposed to the lower octane, and there's reasons to use the lower octane as opposed to the higher octane. And one of the reasons why, and I've always known this, that you want to use the higher octane is if you have a higher compression engine, and that's what I do. Because if I'm getting, 180 on up PSI, usually close to 200, like my FJR, it had a 220 PSI pressure in the cylinder. I definitely burn premium in that. I think this bike probably, I haven't checked the compression. I need to do that, but I bet you the PSI on this is close to 200. So it's a good idea to run premium, but in the lower compression engines, you're better off running 87 octane because you don't have that compression to cause the heat and pressure to be able to cause the extreme explosion you need to have a good power burn. So it's a good idea to use 87 in a low compression engine and a higher premium gas in a higher compression engine. So, but that's entirely up to you. Anyway, I'm here at McDonald's. Enough of that. I just thought it was interesting, that's all. I gotta find me a good parking spot. This place is busy. I forgot. If I come up here, I usually come up here on a Saturday, so they're busy. I think I'm gonna come back over here and park where I could see my bike. I usually park on this side. I didn't want to stop with some people getting out of the vehicle there. I'm gonna park right over here in the puddle. There's enough room for me to get in here and not have to go all the way back to the puddle. Yeah, I think that'll work. And this goes into neutral so easily. And I wanted to show you too the center stand. Watch this. Okay, now it's on the center stand. All I gotta do is just barely push on it. Boy, it comes right up. Great motorcycle. I love riding that thing. And guess what else? Got my cup holder, so when I get my iced tea, I'll be able to take it with me. I just wished I wouldn't have forgot the helmet lock. Need to put that on. I got to figure out some place I want to put it. I guess I can mount it right here on the other side, not on the exhaust side, but maybe on the other side. On one of mine, I mounted it right here on a license plate, and then I just hooked my helmet here on this plastic thing, which is good enough. Alright, I'm going to go in and get some breakfast, and I'm going to go back for a ride after. So I guess I'll just cut it off here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.